Well, I know that God's been calling me for a long time, and the devil's been distracting me for a long time. And when I was, in my lowest points, God was there with me and sending me visions and inspiring me. And I remember sitting in the hospital at UCLA after having a mental breakdown, and there's documentations of me drawing a church and start a church in the middle of Calabasas. And even after that, I went and made the Life of Pablo album. I said, this is a gospel album. And I didn't know how to totally make a gospel album. And the Christians that were around were too, I would say, beaten into submission by society to not speak up and profess the gospel to me, because I was a superstar. So, but the only superstar is Jesus. So as I sat there saying, I'm gonna make a gospel album, there were Christians that were there that were not. Excuse me, brother. I go into these streams of consciousness when I'm talking, and when you're speaking in the middle of it, it distracts me. I really appreciate the support, but I would like for everybody to be completely silent so I can let God flow through me as I speak to you guys today. So in the studio, and this studio, it's going to compare to places that you're in life where people tell you to quiet your voice and not talk about Jesus, so loud. But everything else is so loud around us. When I'm in California or when I'm in Vegas, they got posters up advertising, sex trafficking. Because if there's an advertisement for a strip club, that is advertising sex trafficking, because at the end of the night, when they close up, the manager says, how much traffic do we have? So if it's a man that's going through things with his family or going through things at work and he feels he has to go there, we all end up participating, whether it's the spirits that get advertised to us all the time. Alcohol they call it a spirit. So we get constant advertisement for spirits. We get constant advertisement for strip clubs and other things like that. But then we bring up the name of Jesus, we're told to be quiet that down. So even for someone who's professing God and saying, this is gonna be a gospel album, the devil's gonna come and do everything he can to distract people from knowing how to fully be in service to the Lord. And all of that arrogance and confidence and cockiness that y'all seen me use before, God is now using for him. Because every time I stand up, I feel that I'm standing up and drawing a line in the sand and saying, I'm here in service to God, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
That's so good, Kanye. Kanye, maybe one of the most powerful, I've heard a lot of your interviews, but maybe, can you speak you said you used to worship the God of fame and the God of some of those things, and that didn't fulfill you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, because it's presented to us on TV. There's a rumor I heard where someone had sat down with Sammy Davis Jr., and this is no, knock to his family, but I want to use a specific name that we know of because it's a celebrity name. We have these icons, we use it. And he leaned in and said, Satan is as powerful as God. And that is the mentality that people have a lot of times when they're in service to fame, money, manpower. You start to feel like Satan is the most powerful. And you start to feel like if you service God, that in life, it means you will not prosper. And the only way to prosper is in service to fame. And it's like the devil stole all the good producers. The devil stole all the good musicians, all the good artists, all the good designers, all the good business people, and said, you got to come over and work for me. And now the trend, the shift is going to change. Jesus has won the victory. Because now I told you about my arrogance and cockiness already. Now,